I'm Dr. Jackie McCool. What I want to do today is give you information for a new patient visit. This is some things that I go over just so that the groundwork is laid and you have a better understanding and appreciation of where I'm going with you as a patient and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, first of all, why my recommendations are what they are. So, first of all, as I always explain to people, I like to look at a person's health as a whole. Their mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. They're all connected and interrelated. If one area is out of balance, it's going to have an effect on the other areas. For example, our mental health, if we're trying to fit 28 hours into a 24-hour day, more than likely it's going to have an adverse effect on our physical health. The spiritual and emotional, I say, are really hard to even separate. The good emotions are from God and the bad emotions are from the enemy. Things like peace, love, joy, kindness, goodness, all those kind of things are going to be having a positive effect on our health. And things like fear, anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment, those kind of things are going to naturally have an adverse negative effect on our physical health. So I look at a person's health as a whole. Then within the physical part of the health pie, I say there are 5 pieces that are very vital and foundational to any one of us achieving and maintaining optimum health and healing in the physical arena. So the first part is rest. It's so important. That's the only time that our bodies can naturally heal and repair itself is whenever we're actually sleeping, not even just resting, but sleep. And the optimum healing time is between 10 o'clock at night and midnight. So if we're not asleep by 10 o'clock at night, we're already starting to lose the most optimum healing time that is to naturally occur every single night. The old cells are dying, the new cells are being regenerated, and so on. So many people lack in this area, and I think it's really a very easy place to start with restoring the body back to good health. Then the next part is water. It is so vital to our health. And once again, the majority of people are walking around literally dehydrated and not even knowing it. Quite often I'll hear people tell me that they don't like the taste of water. That's really an indication that we are dehydrated, one indication anyway. There are 4 mechanisms that our body uses to be rid of its waste and toxins, again, on a regular, ongoing basis. All 4 of those mechanisms need water in order for that waste to come out of the body. 50% of the body's waste should be eliminated through the kidneys. Another 25% through the skin, another 23% through the lungs, and only 2% of the body's waste should be eliminated through the colon. So you can imagine how much should be eliminated through the kidneys. But again, all 4 of those organs or systems of the body need water. And whenever we're not drinking, it's the only way to get it is for us to drink it. When we're not, those toxins and that waste are staying in us, causing inflammation in the body, which eventually leads to the chronic degenerative diseases, including autoimmune and cancers. Okay? So water is very, very vital. We should be drinking minimum half of our body weight in ounces of water a day. That's a minimum. And I'm not talking liquid, I'm talking water. And if we really want to split hairs, even if I had a glass of water and squeezed a fresh lemon into it, I don't have water any longer. I now have a weak lemonade. Now, I'm not going to be that dogmatic with you, but just know the molecular structure really is different, even with something as simple as that. So we're not talking liquids, we're talking water. It is vital, okay? Half of our body's weight in ounces of water minimum per day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you need 75 ounces of water. If you're drinking something caffeinated like coffees or sodas that have caffeine in it that are actually a dehydrator that pull the water out of you, then you need to replenish that as well. If you drank an 8-ounce cup of coffee, on top of your half your body weight in ounces, you need to also replenish that 8 ounce of coffee that you drank with water. Okay, so then the next piece is exercise. And we know that, and we know it primarily from a cardiovascular standpoint. for our cardiovascular health, but it is so important for so many things. First of all, it's a very good stress reliever, and who doesn't have stress these days? I say I'm like Forrest Gump, that stress is my fuel, and I just keep running and running and running until all that stress is worn out, and now I'm back and relaxed again. Also, our lymphatic system does not have, those vessels do not have muscle. So the only way that the body's toxins and waste, the lymphatic system is like the sewage system of the body. And all of the body's waste has to pass through there first before it ends up into the liver and then gets eliminated through its various organs of the organs of elimination. But the lymphatic vessels do not have muscle in the wall of those vessels. So it's counting on the muscle in our legs, in our arms, our chest cavity, our lungs, all of those areas. It's counting on the muscles in those various areas to pump that lymph, the waste, the body's waste, out of the body. So by exercise, we're exercising those muscles, and in turn, causing the lymphatic system to work. So that's another very important reason. Of course, sweating, we're eliminating those toxins through the skin whenever we're exercising. And then it's boosting the metabolism as well. So it has a lot of vital benefits and necessity for exercise. So that's real. These are all just foundational principles, foundational pieces that we need to start with before we can go anywhere else with our health. We have to be doing these things, okay? So then the next piece is good nutrition minus the toxins. We're either putting something of value into our bodies or not of value. It's, in some ways, it's, pretty black and white, either good or bad. Now, I will tell people, oh, you can't eat, and I'll list some short list of foods that we all should stay away from. And they'll, oh, no, I never eat fast food or fried food. And that's great. Okay, so you don't eat those bad foods. But let me ask you this, do you eat breakfast? And they'll say, well, no, I don't eat breakfast. So they're taking the bad out or not putting the bad in, but they're also not putting the good in. So we have to do both. Or people might say, oh, I love, fruits and vegetables. I eat that all the time. Well, how about packaged processed foods? Oh, well, I eat that too. So we have to put the good in, but we have to eliminate the bad. And you know what? Here's one thing that does not cost you anything that can be a tremendous benefit to your health. Won't cost you one red dime. Avoid the toxins. You don't have to buy any bad foods, and therefore it doesn't cost you one red dime, right? So when somebody says, I can't afford to eat healthy, yeah, you can. You can start with taking those steps, okay? And then the last piece is good nerve supply. Now, as a chiropractor, I would be very remiss if I did not mention this piece. Every single cell in the body gets nerve supply. When the bones in our spine, there just has to be a very minimal, slight misalignment. It puts pressure on those spinal nerves. And those nerves, again, are going to every cell, tissue, organ, and system of the body. We most likely aren't even feeling that pressure, at least initially. Only about 7% of all of those nerve fibers and nerve cells in the body have the job of sending off pain signals. And so if there's an interference with the nerves in our spine, and it's not a pain nerve, then we're not feeling it. However, those nerves still have other functions, and the body then is not able to function optimally whenever there's pressure there. And the kind of pressure I'm talking about is just if we were just to set the weight of a dime on one of those nerve roots, that decreases the nerve impulses by about 40%. So it doesn't take much, okay? So that is the foundation of the health pie.